Did you hear that? It's just not sustainable. This is probably the most expensive brake I've ever seen in my whole life. We're waiting for our Didi to our next destination, which is Zhudian, the tire and bricks factory. It's a very sunny day today. 弄那种老房子吗？
原来的那些都保持的不是特别完整，
都不是老的那些了。
对。
Okay, so now we are at the Zhudian Tires and Bricks Factory. Let's see what will happen here. Do you know why the golden brick is called golden brick? It's not because of the color, it's actually because of the sound of the brakes. So in Chinese there is a saying, 金石之声. It means, it sounds like metal, we say 金石之声. You want to hear the sound of this brake? Did you hear that? Unlike tires, where you see lots of beautiful patterns, decorations, characters, and animals, the bricks are very simple. It's just a big squares, but it actually represents the highest level of techniques of making bricks in ancient China. It's complicated. That's why there is this factory showcasing their different procedures and why it's so difficult. Okay, I was hoping that I could participate in the production process of the brakes. I heard that there's a workshop or studio here in the factory, but apparently it's stopped or closed. I guess probably it's not very popular among the tourists, so they cannot get enough visitors, and it's just not sustainable. Remember, I was so frustrated by the third factory of bricks and tires making in Jinxi. There was no production process there at all. I didn't give up. I'm in Suzhou now, and I realized there's another golden brick museum in Suzhou. Since Jinxi is governed by Kunshan and Kunshan is governed by Suzhou, so I figure probably there will be more resources invested in the golden brick protection or inheritance. So the golden bricks was originated in the Ming Dynasty when Ming Chengzu wanted to move the capital city to Beijing, and they wanted to build a new palace for Beijing. Because of that, they wanted to find the best bricks and tiles in China at that time. After rounds of selection and recommendation, they decided to choose the bricks made from Suzhou, and precisely from some small towns like Lumu, Xuzhuang, and Jinxi under the governance of Suzhou. I cannot believe it's just springtime. It feels like over 25, 26 degrees at least. It all started with the soil fetching. The soil material required for making the bricks are the clay material from around the Yangcheng Lake area. Normally, it's hidden 1 meter beneath the normal surface of the soil. Then it's the next step for adobe fabrication. It requires several procedures like hammering, scraping, shielding, bearing, casting. The next step is the so-called shade drying. The bricks will be sent to a straw-roofed room with temperature and humidity control. This process normally takes around 5 to 8 months. This is also the stage when they start to put the stamp of their name, like this, on the bricks. When the bricks are finally ready to be sent to the kilns for firing, it will need a big kiln, but it cannot be filled fully. It only allows around 100 to 300 pieces of bricks in the same kiln because they want to ensure that each brick gets evenly heated. 红砖是吧？青砖呀。The first stage of firing is filled with grasses. They want to reduce the moisture of the bricks. The second stage is with the chopped firewood to bring the temperature up. And the third stage is with the pine wood. The function of the pine wood is to even the temperature of the upper and downside of the kiln. And the whole 3 stages together will take up to 100 days. And after this 100 days, when it's finally ready to be put out, the workers need to drip water from the top of the kiln for 5 days to bring the temperature down. And after that is probably the most strict quality control check in the history of brick making. There are several ways of checking the quality of the golden bricks, which includes checking the appearance, the shape, the color, the sound, and the weight. Using a brush to dip in the water and write on the brick has the same result of rendering ink on a rice paper. If there are more than 6 pieces that do not meet the qualification, the whole set of bricks will be filled together. The bricks after firing is just half-finished products. There are 2 more steps waiting for them. The first is to be polished with water, and second is to be massaged with oil like a spa. And after all this strict process, the bricks that are ready will get shipped from Suzhou to Beijing through the big canal that connecting the north and south part of China in the old time. And after finishing all the process, which will take on average 2 years, these bricks finally showing up in the capital city of Beijing. You may imagine they will be put in somewhere more obvious, like the roof walls, but they're actually going to be used to pave the floor. You can find them in lots of places in the Forbidden City, Taihedian, Baohedian, or famous temple. Are you curious about the price of 1 piece of golden brick nowadays? I'm also very curious. Let's find out together. We are. This is probably the most expensive brick I've ever seen in my whole life. 24,000, 3.5k dollars. Crazy. No wonder it's called golden brick. That reminds me of a second explanation of the name golden brick. They say the price for 1 piece of a brick is actually the same price for purchasing the gold at the same quantity. I was surprised knowing that this complex technique was only recovered in the 1980s after decades of no production. There is no more royal family in the modern China, but to me the golden brick is representing the professional spirit of the ancient craftsman and the aesthetics that appreciate long-lasting qualities. I hope you enjoyed this episode and looking forward to seeing you again. Bye bye!